Should you forgive your specific person? Hey guys, hope you are well. And in this video, I want to be discussing this highly sensitive topic of if you should forgive your specific person while manifesting them. Now, if you should and shouldn't is something that I will be discussing in this video, and how to forgive is also something that I will be touching upon. But I already have two videos where I talk about it in detail, so I will link them down below so you can check those out after this one. So let's understand a few things as this video starts, and let's set a few prerequisites for this video. First, this video is not for everyone. So if you're not manifesting a specific person, and if you're just someone who's manifesting love or something else, then this video is not for you. If you are someone who's manifesting a specific person but is actually not open to the ideas of change, this video is not for you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. A lot of times in this particular moment we aren't, and there is nothing essentially wrong with that. It's just we have to be open to the idea that are we open to the idea of change as of now, or do we just want to sit with this situation for a while before considering if we want to change or not. That's also very important. So if you have stuck to this video till this long, then that means that you are someone. I'm coming from this assumption that you are someone who is open to the idea of change and who is non-resistant to the idea of change and who is not defensive about it. So let's get into this video. Let's understand this better, and let's talk about these things. The first thing that you have to understand is that if you are manifesting a specific person, then it is your decision. At least that is something that it should be. It is your decision. It is not something someone is forcing upon you. Not me, not your friends, not your family. No one is forcing you to go after and pursue this person. Pursuing this person and pursuing this relationship is completely your choice. In most situations, it is a choice that any coach would support. There are some situations where there would be some choices that coachings wouldn't support, and there are many situations that I don't do. So if I see that someone is going in a direction where they are hurting themselves and their mental peace just going after this situation, then I tell them that for them the best thing would be to actually focus on themselves. And also some situations where there is a little bit of abuse involved, things like that, right? But eventually it's on to you. There are tasks that we have. I have a task as a coach to give you the best guidance. You have the task that is your life task to apply that guidance. So we will do our life tasks respectively for a better result to this outcome. So considering that you are someone who is open to the idea that this is my life task, this is you who is making a decision that I want to go after this person where no one else is forcing me to. Like any decision, this one too also comes with a set of consequences. There are good consequences and there are bad consequences. So here we will understand those consequences first, and we will understand what you should do if you are in one of these situations, as I'm going to talk about as we go ahead. The first thing that is very important to do is to actually work on yourself. Now, I know that I have been talking about this in all my videos. In all my videos, I mentioned this one thing, that you need to work on yourself. And the reason that I'm not able to specifically tell you that this is what you should work on is because I don't know you, right? But in general, you should work on what your perception about yourself is, your self-concept, your perception about relationships, and your perception about this person. After working on yourself, a lot of times we end up realizing why we are going after what we are going after. So as we start to work on ourselves more and more, we will have a better clarity on why we are going after something and what is our reasoning behind it, because that reasoning is very important. I will give you an example. So I was talking to a client the other day, and she's someone who in her whole life, and I have taken her permission to share this here. So in her whole life, she hadn't been sexually involved with any person, right? So she got involved with this one guy. Now, after getting involved with him, he was not treating her right and things were not going well, and they ended up parting ways. Now, this girl wanted to get this guy back, right? But her reason, the only reason that she wanted to pursue this relationship was not because she liked this guy, was not because of any other thing, was because she thought that now she's lesser of a person because she chose to get involved with this person, and later if she gets involved with anyone, people won't accept her. Which is not true, which is a limitation based on the societal conditioning that she has developed. In her situation, forgiving the person was not the answer. The answer was to work on herself. These are the situations where I mentioned that, if you work on yourself, you might surpass this. So in her situation, working on herself was the solution, because and she's in a very good place now. She started working on herself and realized that the only reason I was going after this person, spending so much time and attention, was because of this. And she owned up to what she did. She took a choice. This is the consequence of that as of now. And she realized that I'm not any lesser of a person because of it. I chose to get physically involved with someone, and maybe someone outside of me will judge me, but it's their issue. I am not going to judge myself for it because it's my choice and I'm okay with it. In this particular situation, for example, was a very good way for her to work on herself to surpass this obsession towards this person, right? So working on yourself will actually help you solidify why you are going after what you're going after. And after you are clear on that, you will need courage, because even this girl, if she would have understood this, she could have still said, I still want to go after that person. After that, it would have become redundant, right? But she chose that I am going to be courageous and I'm going to face my fear head on and going to surpass this, which is what she did. So if you reach this stage, give yourself that courageous moment. It takes just 5 minutes of your time. Eventually, it's just 5 minutes where you say, enough is enough. I'm going to let go of this attachment, if that is what it is. Now, if you are in that category, then this is where it ends for you. And moving forward, you should be working on your perception of men, relationships, and yourself to get and attract a better partner if that is what your want is. Now, that is where it ends. Now, let's understand one more thing about if you are someone who is not in this stage and you realize that, I still have feelings and I want to pursue this person from this capacity, and you know that it is not coming out of attachment. So, the thing is that one thing that you need to introspect is the concept of everyone is you pushed out is comes into play here. And the concept in itself is highly misunderstood by a lot of people, because when we get into manifestation, we start assuming everyone is you pushed out means I create everything, where it is more so about that I choose experiences in my life and other people are doing their thing and I'm involving them in my life in a particular way. So no, the person around you is not your puppet that you're imaginarily creating. The way that your subjective reality is with them is what your creation is. The things that you accept and don't accept, get attracted to and not get attracted to, is what your reflection is. The reason why people want to believe that everything is me pushed out means that each and every single thing is created by me, because a lot of times we are pursuing a relationship which is not really healthy for us, and the only justification that we can give ourselves is that I created everything. Because if I believe that I created everything, I won't have to forgive this person, I won't have to have them take responsibility of their actions, and I can just keep on getting them in my life and creating this situation for myself, and I later won't feel guilty that I allowed this kind of behavior in my life. When in those situations everyone is you pushed out means what kind of things am I allowing in my life is the kind of things I keep getting back. After you work on this, you realize that everything and every person is not the only thing in the relationship. So if, for example, I was involved with a person and eventually with my SP, let's say I was involved and I was in a situation where I also had my beliefs. I had beliefs about them. I had certain things that I allowed in my life which I shouldn't have. And there was a perception of relationships that I was carrying forward with, because of which the situation got sabotaged. Here, the first thing that I would do is I would understand and accept what are the things that I could have done differently for this relationship to get better, and what are the things that I want to hold them responsible for. And these are things that they genuinely would be responsible for. Then I would ask myself, what are the ways through which I accepted this behavior and maybe somewhere taught them that it is okay for them to behave with me this way? Because that person wouldn't behave with everyone this way. So, to a certain degree, if I have allowed a certain situation in my life, then I need to accept what was the point where I unconsciously taught them that this is fine for them to treat me this way. And that is the point where I need to clarify this. So an example of this would be, let's say I'm in a situation with a person and they cancel on me last minute, and it happens once, it happens twice, but in my mind I'm afraid to put up a boundary, because I feel that if I put up a boundary they won't ever accept me, so I don't. And this is where they keep on canceling on me, and then eventually I talk to myself and say that, oh, they are just treating me wrong because everyone is me pushed out. No, this was a boundary that I needed to create at an appropriate time, which is what something I will do now, so that in the future something like this doesn't happen. Right? Ask yourself, if one of my friends would be going through the same situation, what would I do? And I know that in this video I'm giving you a lot of arguments on if you should forgive someone or not, and if you should go forward with this or not, because that is the point of this video. I am not telling you that manifesting a specific person isn't possible. Neither am I telling you that you shouldn't pursue a relationship ever where there are difficulties. I am just trying to clarify your choices for you so that you can make an informed choice. If you make a choice that you want to pursue this relationship, that's absolutely amazing for you. I love that. but at least it should be a choice that you're making. Now, if you are finalizing that, after all this introspection, after all these things, Karan, you have said, I have finalized that I want to pursue this relationship. Great. Then the things that you need to ask about to yourself before you actually go in this direction is one, to a degree, because your mind has to protect you, it has created assumptions about this person under which they put him. So, for example, I'm manifesting a guy in my life, and let's say they were slightly back and forth and hot and cold, and I allowed that situation, right? Now, to a degree, I'm worried that what if they do it again? Now, this doubt will be there in a part of my mind, and a consequence of me going after this situation is a part of me might feel slightly frustrated that I'm still going after this person even after they did all this. Even though logically I know what happened, and even though logically I know what the situation is, but it will help me clarify why I'm going after this, right? And I need to accept the fact that if I'm choosing to forgive, then a part of me might not find the closure that they need. That's one. Secondly, I need to accept the fact that as I'm proceeding to work on this forgiveness, I will need to forgive myself too, because I also will play a role in it. And this is what Neville Goddard says, is that no one to change but self. This is one of those times where this comes into picture, because no one to change but self is an application that has to be provided here, where we need to understand and ask ourselves in what way we have to work on forgiving ourselves for the things that we allowed. Because responsibility does not mean self-blame. It does not mean putting yourself down just for some choices that you took. Lastly, you need to understand that after you start doing so, seeing them in a different light might be slightly challenging, but not something that you cannot do. Eventually, because you are a mature and a smart and a very thoughtful individual who has taken this decision for yourself, then you know that if I'm going in that direction, it might mean that I might have to see them in a different light, which is fine, but that might just create a little bit of resistance inside of me. So as you go in that direction, it will become easier and easier for you, because if you are expecting that this might happen, you will be able to deal with the resistance better. There is no right or wrong answer. There is a right and wrong answer for you. There is no if I should do it or not. It's based on my situation, and it's based on the kind of choices that I'm making. Also, there are no right or wrong choices. There are choices and there are consequences of the choices. And any choice that we take will come with its set of consequences. Because let's say you do end up saying that I don't want to forgive this person, you will still have to work on forgiveness towards yourself. And you will still create assumptions about the opposite sex in this particular instance, right? Those are things that will still have to be worked on. So work towards yourself is something that cannot be avoided. But should you forgive your SP and should you go forward with them in that direction or not is something that is completely based on you, based on these things that you can introspect over. Now, if you go after a specific person, absolutely amazing. As long as it's a well thought of decision, it's an informed decision. If you go after choosing to move on from that situation, absolutely amazing, as long as it's a well thought of decision. All I can do in my life task in this particular video is to provide you clarity and tools so that you can make a decision for yourself. After that, whatever decision that you make, I am sure that you will take the correct one and you will proceed forward with making it the correct decision based on your actions, persistence, and perseverance. So I believe in you. I hope that you take what is the best choice for you, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.